Hello, good morning, everyone from the Pacific Northwest. It is 7 a.m. where I am, and this is our Thursday live. And apologies, I just was a little bit late, little bit of glitching going on my streaming ability. And I came on and there was nobody there. And then it said, you have to hit record. And I'm like, no, I'm not recording. Anyway, I went all the way back out and came all the way back in, and there you all were. So it's so wonderful to see you all. Hello, Adele from the Pyramid Valley of Bosnia. Hello from Connecticut and Denmark. Hello from Tacoma, Washington. That's where I live. It's so nice to see you all. We have a huge international community, and we were just talking about working with my students all week long, and just so many different people from all over just really just adds so much. So glad that you all are here. So today I'm talking about how do you anchor your power in uncertain times. Okay. And we're really kind of rising as we are moving into January. Things got really a little shaken up last week, and it felt really uncertain. And it was like, what is happening? And then suddenly I'm starting to really sense this rise, like something broke open. Have you noticed that? Did you notice that maybe something broke open inside of you? Maybe it doesn't feel so great yet. Maybe it's rising. There's a lot of emotional rising that doesn't seem to match what's kind of going on in your life, where it just seems it's just so strong what's coming up. So I call it fierce grace. We have fierce grace that's rising, anchoring your power in uncertain times. So, in this world of swirling stress, confusion, and psychic static, I love that word, because psychic static is the frequencies that are kind of all over the map. But if we can just get still enough, we can feel and sense those threads in between of calm, fierce calm. Something deeper is stirring. A primal intelligence within you knows exactly how to meet this moment, not with fear or frenzy, but with unwavering focus, bold instinct, sacred presence. This isn't just about forcing your power. It's about remembering the kind of inner strength that's already yours. It already exists. Even if you feel like you're just this little quiet little mouse, those are the one. I've had a lot of little quiet mouse students, and wow, they can really pack a punch when they finally find their voice. So the kind that moves like a river, guards like a silent sentinel. It's time to rise from the depths and reclaim your fierce grace. Yes, bring it on, as Maggie says. So before I jump into this, welcome to my channel for anyone who is new. I am a retired registered nurse. I did become suddenly sighted clairvoyantly after an out-of-body experience. It wasn't a near-death experience, but I still experienced the same exact things that people describe when they have a near-death experience. I saw a light. There was a tunnel. There was a lot of love. But there was no part of a negotiation of whether I should come back or not. It was stress. I was stressed. And then everything unstressed. And then I could just feel this great sense of peace and love just on the other side of our aura. And so in talking about that, now here we are 30 years later. I've been working with a lot of you. I've been working with a lot of people over those 30 years. So I've learned a lot about the human energy field and synchronicity. So there was this time where I was doing a reading for someone, and some of you oldies here may have heard me tell this story before, but it's always worth mentioning again. And this is an example about how where you are energetically, where your frequency is, you touch others, where their frequency is, touches you, and it has a much greater wide range impact than you may potentially realize. So I was doing a reading for someone sitting in front of me, we're comfortable, and spirits coming through and talking about their light. And when their spirit was telling me about their light, suddenly the sun kind of filters in through the windows, really warms up the room, and there was just this golden glow everywhere. So it's like, all right, that's the light. But then her spirit said, but then there are those moments where it's like the clouds come over and you go into this kind of darkness or low depression. Well, suddenly the clouds moved in front of the sun and the whole room went kind of darkish gray. Didn't really notice anything then, but then their spirit is talking to my spirit, and they keep talking about the sun and the clouds. It happens again about when they're bright and the sun's out, and then the clouds come over and it can really suppress you and make you feel depressed. So then I said to my client, did you just notice that? And they were like, yeah, kinda. And we thought, oh, it just can't be. So then I thought, well, I'll play with it. And this is the thing that you will learn about me. I'm really curious, and I'm going to make a study out of everything. So when I said the sun, all of a sudden, the room filled up with light. When I said the clouds moved in front of the sun and it became cloudy. I probably repeated this 4 or 5 times. That is when I realized what? We're directly connected to the cosmos. We are directly connected to the earth. And everything that's happening in the world is happening in our life right now. And that really happened. And so I want you to start noticing those sorts of things in your life. So we had the solstice event, which was fantastic, by the way. And the recording's still available if you want to order it. It's still available. It will still beautifully impact you. But I want to tell you the story that happened. So I'm doing a reading on the whole group. I'm connected to the collective higher consciousness of the whole group. And I'm doing it by going layer by layer through the aura of the group. So there was this potential point where I think it was on the 5th chakra. It had to do with communication. And the symbol on this layer that the group was going to work with was this bank vault. And this bank vault was inside room after room after room after room. And inside this bank vault that was locked, would be your belief systems, the belief systems of the group that you were going to hold on to with a death grip. That no matter what anybody says, you're going to hold on to this belief system that might not be true. It might actually be a lie, but you've held on to it for so long. And there might be a lot of belief systems here that it's like, no, you block out everything else. You can't hear it. So I'll just give my little example. Like a lot of times it has to do with, belief systems from parents or religion, or how about, for me as a nurse, there's a lot of belief systems that were taught. Like, first of all, if one of the patients is seeing spirits, then they might be psychotic and we're going to call a psychiatrist. There was never any room in that belief system that maybe the spirit world was real. And then how about Bigfoot? You know me, I like to talk about Sasquatch, but you can have It's like, yeah, there's no way that's real. And what I really realized was there's just a lot of fear underneath there. Like, what if it's real? If it's real, what other things are real? So back to this reading. I am guided to guide the group to open up the safe, to go into the inner chambers of the safe, to open it up, to see what their belief systems are that they're holding as a truth that might be a lie. And part of the instructions could include releasing the whole bank vault with all the old belief systems. And some in the group chose to kind of blow it up, to kind of release all these heavy belief systems that just don't fit in these times going on. But here's the deal. I'm sitting here just like I am right now in my office. There's no people around. We're guiding. And it was like, let go of the bank vault. And suddenly I heard this loud explosion. It sounded like a bomb went off. When you're watching the recording, you will literally see me jump back. I could hear Yvonne jump up, run outside to see what was happening. I talked to the neighbors later. They heard it as well. No one in our neighborhood ever found out what happened at that moment. And at that moment, on the other side of the world, there were bombs going off. And so it's like, how does that happen? How does that get picked up in the reading? You know, could it be that synchronistic? Did a car just hit another car just randomly at that same moment? So when we're talking about these times that we're moving into, and then you've heard me talk about times where we're looking at things in our life from maybe a 12-sided perspective. What if that's true? What if your mood can really impact someone else? What if your fear can touch someone else on the other side of the world? What if their fear can touch you? Then what are you going to do about it? You know? And so now what I'm noticing is we went through this phase this week of uncertainty, but then there's almost like this inner roar of wildness that's coming up, and it's like, oh heck no, this is how I'm going to live my life. So it's super, super exciting. So let me pop into my teaching. So have you ever noticed lately how relentless the pressure feels? It's relentless. I actually felt like I was coming down with the flu. The world is moving faster. The stressors are louder. And the confusion, spiritual, emotional, mental, feels thick enough to choke on. For many sensitive souls and energy aware individuals, it is becoming much harder to stay clear. The daily news, environmental shifting, the collective fear that can leave us either feeling hyper vigilant or completely disassociated. I find myself flipping back and forth between hypervigilance and disassociation and working my darndest to get back to a grounded centeredness. And yet there's this something ancient, very deeply ancient, that is rising beneath it all. And that's where we are this week in the frequency forecast. That's where we are. That's where we're going to be building over the next several months. Sometimes something feels deeply primal and sovereign, like this is my land, this is my property, this is how I feel. So I'm really curious about how you all are navigating this particular time that we're in. Have you felt this force in your belly? Now, it could be rumbling and you feel that your gut is hyperactive as it's really trying to digest all the energetics that are going on. You might feel it in your bones, your breath, that hasn't forgotten how to meet chaos with clarity. And can you think of times in your life where you felt deflated, you felt defeated, You felt maybe worried. And then there was like a switch, like a light switch that happened, your inner light switch. And then it's like you get up, you get your boots on, and you grab your bag, and you're like, oh no, I'm going to deal with this head on. And I know that we're talking about some big global things, but what if lights on, lights off? The sun is illuminating in the room. The clouds have come over. The sun's illuminating. So if we're connected to everything, does your life have the potential to be influenced by this? This energy does not come from the intellect. It doesn't even ask for permission. It's instinctual. It's deeply attuned and profoundly grounded. It knows how to stay still when necessary and strike only when it serves the truth. So there's this real inner core that's happening where truth is being revealed. And this, when the blue light beings come through, and there is a lot of blue coming through to the world right now, a lot of plasma blue, more so than I saw 7 or 8 days ago. It is just really coming to the earth, and it's just dissolving illusions. And it's not like it's cranking it out. It's just like, here, let's dissolve these illusions. And then you're able to grasp the truth much more easily and effortlessly. So I wouldn't say the Calvary's coming, because it isn't like this blue light's coming to save us. The blue light is helping you to dissolve what you used to believe is true, like that bank vault, that it turns out it was a lie. And this blue light helps you to illuminate the truth so that you can take your own actions, so that you can be your own Calvary in the background, riding in to save the day. So, and it knows how to stay still when necessary. I said that. And this fierce grace, both protective and nurturing, both patient and precise. So you might be feeling this energy already stirring inside of you. Some of you may not be quite there yet, but don't be surprised to just have that fierce inside expression start to rise, that fierce grace. Perhaps your dreams are more vivid. Mine are so incredible, and I am not a dreamer. And just the night before, I had dreams where someone took me into this secret cave where there were carvings in the walls, and I remember just running my hands down. It was like such ancient communication. You may find that your body is more reactive, that your gut is more insistent. This is not a weakness for you. This is your body preparing to carry more of your soul. And I've been talking about this. I don't know, I don't totally understand it all, but I've been doing this work long enough to know it's going to turn out really good. Is whenever there's a lot of chaos, there is a rainbow on the other side. Whenever my life has fallen apart, I've been given tremendous gifts on the other side. So the more chaotic and the more distressed, sometimes I have to tell myself, I cannot wait to see what the wrapped gift with my name on it is going to look like on the other side spiritually. So this is preparing your body to really take in more of your soul. And as the timelines start to collapse and systems unravel, you're being recalibrated to walk within your own true power. But here's the thing. Power doesn't scream, does it? It doesn't posture. It knows when to wait, when to move, when to stay utterly silent while the storm swirls above. Now, this other little story, I was watching this YouTube video. I have a chocolate lab, and she's about 2.5. She's 2.5 years old. And she can posture like, I'm laughing because I think this probably sounds like a lot of us. She can posture like she's big, bold, and all of that, and don't mess with me or I'm going to take you down. But if another dog comes in who's truly alpha or, tail tuck, and she runs back to me like, just kidding, when you try to act all strong. But I was watching this video because I was trying to understand it, how to get my dog to play well with others. And they were showing this video where you have a dog like mine and she might challenge, or you have another dog that challenges her. So you're watching this dynamic in the yard, and then there's this dog that comes in, and this is what we're talking about here. This wasn't even the biggest dog in the field. This dog comes in, and the dogs just start laying down like they knew this dog. The dog didn't bark. The hair didn't come up on the back of the dog. The dog didn't run around and look everybody in the face like, don't mess with me. The dog just came in. And every time it passed another dog, all the dogs were going down to show you're the leader. And so this is what can be happening in your life with this fierce strength that's coming up that doesn't require words. And so if you're thinking that's not me, well, you just wait, because it could be. So it doesn't posture, it knows how to wait. This force within you is your protector, not in the armor wearing way, wall building way, but in the wise, watchful way. It clears out what doesn't belong in your energy field. It restores energetic centeredness, energetic sovereignty, and it says no without apologizing. No without having to give an excuse. No is enough. It keeps your emotional waters from becoming murky with everyone else's fear. It also reclaims your right to feel, your right to love, your right to rest, your right to speak only when the words carry weight, not just filling in with a lot of words, but have your words have meaning. It's the aspect of you that no longer plays small so that other people feel comfortable. That was such a revelation for me when I had that self-awareness that we want everybody to feel included, right? So, so if you've been shrinking, the energy that is happening right now this week and over the next few months, but it's really almost like a big reset. If you've been shrinking, this energy says expand. If you've been doubting, this energy says trust your instincts. If you've been overgiving, it's whispering to you, guard the gate of your heart. And if you've been frozen in fear, it reminds you you were born to flow forward. This is what's returning is not aggression. It's a presence, the kind that walks into the room and changes the atmosphere. The kind that knows how to walk away without even having to explain why. The kind that isn't afraid to love fiercely and deeply, but will not abandon itself to be loved. What's returning is not aggression, it's presence. And in these rising frequencies, you're not being asked to toughen up. This is a different type of power that's coming through. You're being asked to embody the sacred strength that's been with you since the beginning. The river within you is vast and it remembers you. These currents help you to remember yourself as well. So I have heard from a few of you when I'm reading your posts and things like that, that there's this anger coming up and there's this rage coming up. And I want to let you know, I look at this a little bit differently than probably many people. And I look at this kind of fierce inner strength that may be interpreted as rage, might even be interpreted as murderous rage, or I just, my buttons are stuck on angry and I can't seem to unstick the buttons. When I had a calling, I was called by the ancestors. I lived in South Africa for a year. I'd gone back 12 times, and I was always strongly impacted by just placing my feet on the land there. And hello, everyone from South Africa. And every time I went, I was deeply touched by the land. And I could hear the whispers of the ancestors of the land there. Eventually, over 8 years, I was told by many of the Sangomas there that my ancestors were calling me to go through Sangoma training to become a traditional medicine person. And when I asked, I didn't understand because I was already working as a nurse healer. I always did readings, doing what I'm doing now. But at the time, the Sangomas told me that the world is expanding and the world is becoming stronger, and humanity, which the Sangomas are all about community and humanity, the bigger picture for the world. They said, you're going to require a greater depth of connection with the earth. You're going to have to be well grounded, and you're going to need to move forward with the support of your ancestors or the support of your guides and angels. So many times I will say, or I'm told by my ancestor team, that this part of the journey, it's not possible to do it alone. And you're not alone. But sometimes we forget that we're not alone, or we're not picking up the cues that we are surrounded by our own guides and angels. But here's the thing that I needed to learn. There's a particular ceremony that I went through, and it is called the Ndiki ceremony. And I'm wearing red today to kind of talk about that. But the Sangomas have these ancient teachings and secrets that teach you how to push up your fierce inner power, your fierce inner wildness, your fierce inner unapologetic, this is who I am. And if you've ever met a Sangoma, those are some powerful, powerful medicine people. And it's not an intimidating power. It's I want to be like you when I grow up power, where they just walk in the room and the seas part, and this is the red that I'm talking about. They've learned how to harness it in a way that is embodied. It's not intimidating. It's not bullyish. It's not any of those things. And so they have teachings where they teach you how to push up, what they call pushing up the red. So now what I know, I'm just going to come back to this moment. Now what I know about people who've been spiritually developing for a while, or you may reach this point where we are right now, that fierceness is coming up. That means spiritually you've moved to the next level, and you're being given these fierce emotions, and it's like your spirit's like, you can do it. You can handle this. You can manage this. You can move through the world with this level of strength, fierce grace. And so what I'm hearing is, I can't stop being angry. What's wrong with me? Well, nothing's wrong. You're right. Everything's right with you. So yeah. And so, like Kathleen is saying, getting in touch with and expressing my anger, it is a spiritual launching pad. I love that word. Terry, thank you. Sacred rage. When it hit me, I thought I had broken. And I remember in South Africa when it finally came up, I thought, I just need to leave. And I went for a long walk and I just sat in the forest there for 8 to 10 hours. It was getting dark. I know people were thinking they should come find me, but I felt like I was riding this bronking horse, and I was trying to just hang on for dear life until it calmed down. Well, it took a while. Yes, Sarah, thank you. Fierceness, anger is a catalyst for change, but I love Renee saying fierceness is leveling up. So, in this guided meditation, I'm calling it the still river within, reclaiming your fierce grace. So go ahead and get yourself comfortable. And if you just need to even pause this recording, go ahead and do that and get yourself settled. Close your eyes. Feel into your own inner fierce grace, even if it feels like it's just a wee little pilot light. Take a moment to talk to your body and let your body know that it doesn't need to be afraid of your fierceness. Because sometimes, if we've had someone abuse fierce power in the past, your body can become afraid of you when you are expressing your own fierceness. So just take a moment to let your body know you've got this and that you're going to support your body through it as well. Grounding and earth energy are really going to be the big keys as you rise within your own inner strength. So, right now, go ahead, ask your spirit, your higher self, to help you create a feeling, or maybe you can hear a sound or see or just know, and pretend and imagine that you are fiercely grounded in the room where you are. You're going to allow it to float around the area of your hips. Rise within yourself as you allow the strength of your grounding to pass through the seat of your chair, the floor of the room, the foundation. As it's pure energy, it can pierce through the earth's crust. And then allow that really strong and fierce and unapologetic strength of your grounding to go through all the layers of the earth to the magnetic core, and then create another image to help you really anchor at the center. Mother Earth invites you, embraces you, encourages you to anchor in. This is humanity's time to stand strong. And then invite, allow, receive Mother Earth's frequency to flow up into the room where you are, to travel up through the bottom of your feet. And this beautiful earth energy, just like this gentle, warm water can gently melt an ice cube, let that earth energy flow up through your legs and fill up your body and your human energy field at whatever level is comfortable for you. As it passes through the different layers of your body that you're comfortable with, it's melting away any areas where you maybe do apologize or you play small to feel safe, or you just want to get your footing in life. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll stand in my strength tomorrow. I'll stand in my strength next week. So whatever is distracting you from navigating your fierce inner grace, just allow the earth energy to gently melt it away. Now imagine that you're standing by a wide, ancient river. Your spirit loves to pretend, loves to imagine, loves to play as a way to help you to heal. So imagining this ancient river, the waters are slow, deep, and shimmering with ancient memories that go far beyond our Earth's experiences. Feel the power, the strength of this river that's not chaotic. It's steady. It's alive. As you stand at the edge, you feel the river speaking, not in words, but in this quiet inner feeling. And you know that the river is inviting you to come home to yourself. Now you can choose to stay on the water's edge and just draw upon the frequency of the river, or if you're comfortable, you can step into the river, allowing the river to wrap around your ankles, cool and grounding. As you move in a little further, taking a step, the water's now up to your knees, your waist, and your heart. As you pause here, allow the water to hold you. Feel held by these ancient waters. And as the gentle current of the river flows around you, through you, past you, allow it to pull from your energy field psychic static, old stories, belief systems, current fears, feeling overly stimulated in your nervous system. Just let it go and allow the ancient wisdom of the river to carry it away. Let it all dissolve. Now bring your awareness, whether you're on the shore or you're in the river, to your lower belly. Feel the warmth here. There's a slow fire igniting. Remember, even if I said it was just a little pilot light, this is your instincts. This is your protection. This is your power in your lower belly. Imagine it expanding, getting warmer, feeling stronger. Allow it to rise up like a golden current. It's going to activate your root chakra between the hips. It's going to move up and activate with this grace up through your solar plexus, up into your chest, your throat, your head, and up to connect and become a union between your body's power and your spiritual light. And now hear this message from your deeper self. I am still, I am strong, I guard what is sacred. I move in my life when it's time. I am a fierce grace of presence. I walk in clarity and I trust my own river currents within me as I feel the energy settle into every cell of my body. Thank the consciousness of the waters. And then just slowly move your way back out from the chest down to the waist, the hips, going into the shallow waters to your knees, to your ankles, and then stepping out onto the shore. And then when you're ready, just go ahead and move back into the consciousness, bring back into the space where you are. And whenever you're ready, you can start to move around your arms and your legs and open your eyes and look around. And so before we wrap things up, this fierce grace does not feel angry. So when I said it took me a little while to really get my inner strength, I call it red. Just because it's red does not mean it's anger or rage, but it can feel that way when we're suppressing it. But then as it flows and merges with the spiritual chakra, you do feel taller. You do feel empowered. You do feel like you can handle anything. And so as we finish up, I just want to just leave you with this message. If you are feeling a fierceness rise within you, you're normal. This is what's happening in the world. This is what's happening in humanity. And look at those belief systems you have around. Is it okay for you to feel empowered, to feel strong, to stand up within yourself with that fierce inner grace? And if you're not feeling that you can live in that state, like I noticed someone wrote, I don't want to be mean, I don't want to be hurtful to someone. And those are when someone was not in alignment with their power, using the power in the wrong way, it was mean and it was hurtful. And so I love that intention. I want to be in my power. I want to be in my strength, but I want to be also fiercely compassionate, but unapologetic, setting boundaries. And just like that story of the dog where it just moves into the yard, it doesn't have to say a word. It just moves through and joins everyone else, and it just calms the energy. Whew. We're stronger together than we've ever been apart. If you missed the summer solstice, don't worry, you didn't miss it. You can order the recording, and it really, really is worth every minute of listening. And we're still together, and let's hang in there because we've got a lot of emotions here in this current time, and they're beautiful. They've always been beautiful. Sometimes we just forgot. All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.